Hi, everyone. Welcome to tonight's episode. I just wanted to do a quick makeup show from last night since I wasn't able to do it due to personal reasons and whatnot. And then I had thrown a I had thrown a post over on Gun Channels about not being able to do it last night. And I said I'll probably try and do it tonight. So here we are. And tonight, I just wanted to talk real quick about what's going on with the whole Dianne Feinstein thing. If I can get my screen share to work, that'll be good. Give me a minute here to get and screen share is not going to work as far as I can see. Let me see. Yeah, because I have no way of knowing if you all can see that out there or not. But last night, Trump was doing a rally out there in Ohio, and he was speaking about it. And you can see Trump Feinstein spar reports of Chinese spy on her staff. If I'm screen sharing again, I can't tell because it's not showing up on Hangouts whether I'm screen sharing it or not. So I don't know. See if I turn up my bandwidth if it'll show if I'm screen sharing or not. It should be showing. Not having anybody out there right now, do I? Okay. Jared, let me see if I can get that to work. If not, I'll just have to read it to you because for some reason screen share button is not working. It's always good. And well, thanks for joining, by the way. I'm glad you're out. Somebody's out there. But yeah, okay, I'll just have to read it to you because apparently my screen share doesn't want to work right now. Anyway, the whole point of this is at his rally in Central Ohio on Saturday night, President Trump took aim at U.S. Senator Dianne Feinstein, criticizing the longtime member of the Senate Intelligence Committee for reportedly having a suspected Chinese spy on her staff in the past. The leader of the Russian investigation, this is Trump's quote, by the way, the leader of the Russian investigation, Dianne Feinstein, had a Chinese spy as her driver for 20 years, and she's leading the Russian witch hunt. Isn't that something? And then she says to me, "What did you know about this and that? Give me a break." And the Washington Times put out a tweet saying Donald Trump trolls Senator Dianne Feinstein for having Chinese spy on her staff. They're not wrong. I mean, that's essentially what he was doing. But Trump's also right. And again, we've seen in the past where Dianne Feinstein is extremely hypocritical on various instances. And this is one of them. She literally had a Chinese spy working for her. She claims it was 5 years in the past, so that doesn't matter. And if it was 5 years in the past, why is this story just now coming out? But anyway, she goes, like I said, was saying, she goes and she has a Chinese spy literally working for her, and yet she's one of the main Democrats out there throwing around this whole collusion thing, trying to take down Trump any way she can. And let's not forget, again, this is the same Dianne Feinstein that wants to take away everybody else's rights to own a firearm while herself being a California concealed carry permit holder. So, we already know Feinstein is extremely hypocritical. Now, I wish I had a panel here to discuss this. I see gun-loving Grandpa Stanley has joined us. Hope you're having a good night out there, Mr. Stanley. So, Root Pan, a.k.a. Jared, and Mr. Stanley, what do you two have any thoughts on this since you're out there on the YouTube side? What do you think about all of this? If you want to go ahead and put your comments in there. Yeah, that's a good question. What other cold treasures could Trump have thrown out there? Because, yeah. Well, he did also say Dianne is the person leading our nation on collusion with Russia, only done by Dems, the president tweeted. Will she now investigate herself? Something tells me probably not. She seems to be of the mindset of do as I say, not as I do. And it doesn't matter what I do, it only matters what you do kind of personality. So I don't think she's going to be out there wanting to investigate herself. Oh, howdy, JBP. See, you joined us out there too. Yeah, in case you just joined and you didn't catch what was going on, we were talking about what Donald Trump was saying about Feinstein last night at his rally in um, Ohio. Uh, yeah, thank you. Mr. G Webs is out there on the YouTube side saying he's thumbing us, but I hope that's in a good way because I don't know if I could take that right now. But yeah, sorry guys, I had to throw that joke out there. But yeah, thanks G Webs, appreciate it. Let's see if anybody over on the gun channel side, if he's got that set up over there yet. No. He says G-Web says he's got it set up, so that's good. All right. So, G-Webs, you got any thoughts on what we were talking about if you were listening? I don't know if you were or not. I got both the YouTube and gun channels open so I can see comments on both sides. Yes, sir. I see that you said that on the gun channel side. Thank you very much. So, anybody else have any thoughts? I said I wish we had a panel join in, but so far nobody's joined. I might go ahead and throw the link over on the gun channel side just to see if anybody wants to join. So give me a second to get that link pulled up, and I'll throw that over on the gun channel side. Don't want to throw it out there on the YouTube side because, well, we know what happens when you throw links on the YouTube side. Mass chaos. Okay, if anybody wants to join in, I just put the link out there on the gun channel side, so feel free to join in. If you're a member of gun channels, it's over there. You can go ahead and do that. You know, Ruben, really, I don't think anybody cared when Obama was in. Feinstein was one of his allies. It was, protect the people at all cost kind of situation because we don't want our side to look bad. That's just the way I look into that because it's amazing how much stuff comes out when the other party takes control. And it's both parties. When they get out, you got then the opponent takes over, and all kinds of stuff comes out of the woodwork. But this whole thing where Feinstein literally had a Chinese spy working for her, even if it was just her driver, how much stuff did she talk about in her car? I know my wife and I, we talk about stuff in the car all the time that we might not want the kids to hear and whatnot if they're not around. I mean, people don't. She probably didn't even stop to think, should I be talking about this kind of stuff, even if her driver wasn't a spy? It makes you wonder how much stuff chauffeurs of these people hear that they may not want to hear or want them to hear. So it's really interesting. It makes you wonder what some of these guys could come out and say to people if they really wanted to, It's just it really does make you stop and wonder. And I see you've joined us on the Hangout there. You there, Jared?
Yep, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Can you turn your mic up a little, if possible?
I cannot actually.
Okay, you're low right now, so I didn't. But
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you a little better now. Yeah.
Alrighty.
Let me stop presenting
I was wondering.
You were wondering what? I'm sorry.
Secret. I wonder, is that knowledge that everybody knows that she had a spy?
Yeah, it's been in the news this week that She says that nothing important was revealed by her driver, but yeah, it's been in the news this week that Rick was talking about it yesterday on his show.
Oh, I must have
I
jumped in
didn't catch him live, but I
after that.
watched the replay. And yeah, huh?
I must have jumped in after that.
Yeah, he mentioned it briefly on his show yesterday. But and then this came out last night. Trump was having a rally last night in Ohio, and that's when he commented on it.
That's awesome.
And like I said, he's not wrong. I mean,
No.
she's out there throwing out this whole collusion thing. Meanwhile, she had a Chinese spy working for her. You know.
Yeah. I forget.
And it is what it is at this point, right? How can you be condemning somebody else because they supposedly colluded with the Russians, which has never been proven, but yet she had a spy for a foreign government out there working for her?
Yep. California for you.
And he made some other comments too. Where was it?
So why would a spy? That's such like a benign thing for a spy.
Yeah. Here's I hear roboting a little. Robot and Jared couldn't make out what you were saying there.
Yeah, what I was saying was it seems so benign that she would have a spy working for her. Like, it just seems so insane. Like if she doesn't really know much of anything,
yes,
she didn't learn anything of importance.
Out. Here, Feinstein went fired back, and this is where the whole you're roboting real bad. I don't know if it's you or me, but it's.
I just asked the chat.
Yeah, Jared, you're roboting, buddy. I can't say for some reason. Okay, I am. Hopefully, I'm back. You guys hear me okay out there? I don't know what happened. It just everything went goofy all of a sudden. Am I coming through, guys? Can you hear me? and what I'm doing. I'm sure you're making Fridays. So where was that? Where I was going with this before the technical issues hit. I was getting ready to put up Feinstein, talk about Feinstein's response to Trump. That's what it was. Apparently, Feinstein retaliated with a pair of tweets Saturday. Hopefully, y'all are hearing this. The FBI told, this is Feinstein's tweet, the FBI told me 5 years ago it had concerns that China All right, it says I'm live again. Can y'all hear me out there now? Am I back up? You heard part of what I was saying? For some reason, Firefox has opened itself and doesn't want to close, so that's not good. No, I don't want it. Okay, there, Firefox closed. I don't know what the deal with that was. All right, good. So, do I have to go back over what I was saying about Feinstein's response? Because Stealth Hunter says you only heard part of it. So let me go back over that again. Yeah, I don't know what part y'all heard, but he retaliated to Trump's comments with 2 tweets last night. It's saying the FBI told me 5 years ago it had concerns that China was seeking to recruit an administrative member of my California staff. She says caliph. I guess I don't know if she's thinking she's taking over as a Muslim holy person or something. But yeah, I'm assuming she means California, but she did write caliph, which is not a good thing in hindsight, I would suppose. But anyway, she goes on to say, despite no access to sensitive information, Feinstein wrote in the first message. This is Fox News I'm reading this from, so excuse me if I put that in there, because I already said that she put that in the first message. But anyway, she continues, I took these concerns seriously, learned the facts, and made sure the employee left my office immediately. That was the first tweet she put out. The second tweet was she was attacking Trump for his FBI comments. Compare that to your actions, attacking the FBI and refusing the advice of your national security team. Sad. I appreciate then and now the diligent work of our law enforcement and intelligence agencies and acted in the best interest of the country. Give it a try. Diane, how about you try not having run-on sentences? But anyway, that's beside the point. you'd think that somebody who's supposed to be all high and mighty and act all kind of educated would know how not to do a run-on sentence, but apparently Dianne Feinstein does not. But again, I'm not let's not be a grammar Nazi. Anyway, where was I going with this? Oh yeah, to be honest, Trump is right to attack the FBI, especially under Comey's leadership. They were not, let's say, the best run organization out there. That's being generous, shall we say? Because Comey was clearly not taking the best interest of the country when he was doing the things that he was doing. Jared, if you want to try hopping back in, if it might have just been the technical difficulties that we were having that were causing your problem, where it sounded like you were roboting on my end. So it's up to you if you want to try jumping back in or not. And anybody else who wants to jump in, like I said, I threw the link over on the Gun Channel side. I threw that out there. And I had sent Clover a link if he's still out there. And I saw he was in the chat earlier. And I feel your pain, John. I really do. One of the things I'm glad about having moved. I don't have to deal with lousy internet anymore. That Frontier was killing me back before we moved. But yeah, I mean, if I were Trump, I wouldn't be trusting what the FBI was saying either. It was basically my comment on her little thing. And as I was saying earlier, if it came out 5 years ago, why is it just coming out now that this happened? Why weren't we informed earlier that she, an important member of the Senate Intelligence Committee, particularly under the Obama administration? Ghost, you have a link out there too if you want to join in, buddy. I sent you one out there. It should be in your email if you can. It's up to you. I'm just sitting here by myself right now. But anyway, under the Obama administration, she was out there having a spy working for her. And as I was saying earlier, I don't know if y'all heard it or not, how much did her chauffeur really overhear? Because apparently it was her chauffeur or driver, as they call it, because I guess chauffeur isn't PC anymore. Yeah, no problem, Ghost. I understand. Yeah, how much did her chauffeur overhear that he did report that maybe she doesn't know or anybody else know about? It's like I was saying, my wife and I, we talk about stuff in the car all the time that we don't want our kids to hear. How much do these people take into consideration that maybe their chauffeur might be hearing something that they don't want them to hear, but they're so used to having that driver that they don't stop to think about what they're talking about in the back of that car that could be overheard. It's ridiculous if you think about it. It really does make you stop and wonder how much stuff do these drivers hear on a daily basis. Yeah, I believe she did lose her primary there budget, so yeah, I get what you're saying. I mean, she doesn't matter because she's not coming back, but how much did the Chinese learn from her that they just don't want to admit? Nothing sensitive. I just find that hard to believe because, like I said, I mean, people talk in their cars all the time, and they think it's a secure area, but is it really? Especially if you have somebody driving for you. It just makes you stop and wonder. Especially when we know that the Chinese are trying to spy. I mean, this proves it. And I'm sorry, I just don't buy her excuse there, or her, in her, or what she said in her statement about nothing sensitive having been said. It just, I don't buy it. I don't know. I can't damage her personally, maybe. But then again, maybe it can if, could they push this and have something come out of this on the Espionage Act? Should she have been talking about anything, whether it was sensitive or not, government related, in the back of her limousine? That's another thing to look at. And you're right, it might not hurt her, but what did she talk about that could potentially have hurt the country that her driver would have overheard? Yeah, again, but I get what you're saying. I mean, we only hear when because they don't care now. But it, just makes you wonder what these guys, what actually was heard and what he reported back. And I just don't buy her saying that it wasn't anything sensitive. That's my main point. I just don't buy that she wasn't talking about anything sensitive in the back of her car. I mean, I've been in, I guess you could call it a business meeting in the back of a car before, where we were talking about stuff that we may not have wanted a competitor to hear about. And I find it hard to believe that a politician wouldn't be doing the same thing. That's what probably a lot that they shouldn't know. Yeah, exactly. Budget. That's exactly where I'm getting at. I mean, it just, I don't know if I would say it's scary, but it's definitely concerning. How many of these other guys are driving around in the back of their car and have somebody driving who may be working for a foreign government? Is this going to start a ball rolling where we find out that more people have been having that kind of situation happen? Sort of like the whole when Harvey Weinstein thing came out, and you find out that more and more of these people are doing that same thing. Are we going to get that same kind of situation here? It just makes you, like I said, it just makes you stop and wonder sometimes when something like this happens, because I don't think she's the only one. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised to hear on both sides of the aisle it come out that somebody was driving for somebody that maybe shouldn't have been driving for them. Makes you wonder about their vetting process as well on these drivers. And she calls it a staff member, but reports are that it was her driver. But is she talking about potentially somebody else besides just her driver that they potentially caught being trying to spy? I don't know. Like I said, and if you look at her comment that she posted on Twitter, if you go to Fox News, I'll throw the link out there so y'all can see the story anyway. I'll put it over on both the YouTube and the Gun Channel side. If you give me a second here. There's the link for the YouTube side. And there's the link for you guys over there on the Gun Channel side, if you want to look at that, so you see what I'm talking about there. Yeah, she specifically says that the Chinese were trying to recruit an administrative member of her staff. She doesn't even acknowledge the fact that it was her driver who was caught. Makes you wonder there too. Does she catch one person but not the other? definitely concerning. And again, you look at Trump's comment. This guy was her driver for 20 years. 20 years. She's trying to say that this guy in 20 years potentially never heard her talking about anything that was sensitive to national security. I find that hard to believe. I really, really do. Yeah, maybe that's it, Budget. For those of you on the Gun Channel side, Budget saying maybe they figured it was okay being a fellow communist and all. But yeah, maybe that's it. It definitely makes you wonder, though. Again, this guy was working for her for 20 years, and they just caught it 5 years ago. Is that what she's trying to say? Or did they just now catch her driver, but she's only admitting to the fact that there was somebody who tried working for her? Because that's her excuse. We caught somebody who was trying to work for her staff. So even in her comments, she didn't even acknowledge the fact that about her driver, because Trump's comments were about her driver. She brings up a comment and says it was they caught somebody trying to work for her staff. That's not even the same position. Like, so you gotta wonder. That makes you wonder too, doesn't it? Well, guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and start cutting this off since I don't got a panel right now, and Budget's wanting to do his show at 7, I believe he said, which is in 10 minutes. So I think I'm going to go ahead and jump off of here and thank everybody for going and joining in the chat who did, especially on this short of notice. Because I said I wanted to make up for not having the show last night. And I will hopefully, if everything goes right and don't have anything come up, we will see you all next Saturday night at 10 Eastern, 9 Central, 8 Mountain, and 7 Pacific. There, I got all your time zones, except for Hawaii, because I don't remember, in Alaska, because I'm not sure what their time zones are like. So we will catch you all next week. Well, actually, that'll be this week, wouldn't it? Well, we'll catch y'all Saturday. Have a good night, folks.